My young neighbor's 4 years old daughter is my husband's affair child. My husband has a 4 years old daughter with a girl who is 16 years younger and was also our neighbor. This woman lived with her grandma and they barely made it. Her grandma was taking care of an old lady who died and she passed the 3 rooms luxurious flat to her. But they barely could afford to pay the bills. I knew the granddaughter had a crush on my husband, but I talked to him about my concerns and he said it's nothing, that he ignores it and if she crosses the line he will tell her. We do well financially speaking. My husband buys a lot of old buildings that have deteriorated and then sells them after fixing them. The young woman who was 24 at the time said historical buildings are her passion and he took her plenty of times with him to visit the buildings. She fell pregnant. We never asked who the father is, but we both agreed to help her with money. They eventually moved and sold the flat. They moved 3 years ago. I got a phone call last week from the grandma who was crying when heard my voice and told me the little girl is actually my husband's daughter. They moved somewhere else because my husband actually is acting like a father on his rare visits, and when the girl started to talk, they got afraid she would call him daddy. The old woman told me her granddaughter is feeling extremely guilty because I helped her the most but couldn't call me because she is afraid of me. I went to her workplace and when she saw me she ran away in the back. She works in a restaurant. All the money I was giving her for a year, she accepted them. Even though my husband was also giving her without my knowledge, 1,500 euros per month, just for the child. I confronted my husband about it yesterday after he returned from his daily jogging and he didn't deny it. He said they had an affair and the child is his. He did the paternity test. He apologized. I feel so lost, hurt, betrayed. I always compared myself to that young woman. She was and is extremely beautiful. And my husband is also lean and tall, and I gained weight. I feel like I want to dig a hole and jump in. I feel like a clown. I knew she wants him. She was acting like a damsel in distress all the time around him. I can see why my husband is desired. He is what women are usually seeking. I also knew she had a crush on him. But she was always saying how much she misses a father figure, how alone she feels. I did find long hair in his car. We have 2 cars. We rarely ride the same. And I was searching in his Mercedes for something and found extremely long dark brown hair, same as hers. I knew she was riding with him in his car because he took her plenty of times to see something he bought, as historical buildings are her passion. But it was on the back seat, and a lot of it. I also found rubbers which we rarely use. We don't have kids and never plan to have them, especially him. And I use pills as we trust each other. So those rubbers were a clear sign. But we did use them a couple of times though. I was so blind. I just hope he will be a good or at least decent father for the little one. I met her a few times. She was 2 years old at the time. I think she didn't know at that point he is her dad. She came with her mother to our home. I can't believe my husband was just sitting there with the little one running around knowing she is his daughter. And her mother is also being so chill about it. I gave her toys and dolls. I know she needs a father more than I need a husband. She is a sweet girl and has no fault in this.
Here are the top comments.
Dump him, you'll lose all that useless weight right there. As if an apology could fix this. If someone can take your man, they can have him. You are worth so much more.
Damn, the betrayal is massive. I'd have ended up in jail if I were you. You're such a queen, my dear. Take your time to heal. Divorce that loser husband and take him for every penny.